Here with Enzo. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves, your names, and what instruments you play?
Hi, I'm Dan. I play guitar and do the programming, and I also sing.
I'm Lucy. I do the synth, some vocals, and I'm also technically the drummer because I push the button to make the drums go.
I'm Geneva. I do a bit of electric violin and also some harmonies.
Oh, nice. So, how would you describe your sound to people who don't know who you are? What's your genre? Do you fit into a genre? What do you reckon?
We're usually like somewhere between punk and goth, but we're usually too energetic to be on a goth show, and usually too sort of mopey and moody to be on a pure punk show. So I would describe it as depressed and horny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice.
Also, it's like a Black Mirror episode of the B-52s.
That's so
It'll make sense later.
Yeah, I can't wait. How did Enzo come to be? How did you guys meet? What's the name mean?
Enzo stands for nil, zero, nothing.
Yeah.
People ask you, what have you done with your music? Nothing. And it used to be a band called Monastery, like it was like 6 or 7 years ago, and me and Lucy played in that. And then like, you want to tell some more of like how we came to chapter 2 or chapter 3, where we're up to now?
Oh god, we've replaced so many members. Well, I joined in via a message in a Facebook group that you'd posted in.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Melbourne
like, that
musicians?
sounds fun. It was a
Not that one.
No.
Not that post.
It was particularly it was a queer musician group basically.
Yeah, nice.
So I was just like that was fun. I'll apply for that, and for some reason I got it. So.
And how did Neva join?
So there was an audition.
Yeah, so I'm the newest. I've been in for like maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
Dan, I knew Dan and the previous bassist Jess, who we had, and Dan put up something saying, "Oh, we're always looking for a fourth instrument," and I was like, "How about violin?" And they were like, we're more looking for like a guitar, but all right.
But it worked.
I pitched it, but it came out good. Yeah.
You knew me previously as well.
I knew Lucy already. Yeah, no, I knew Lucy. It was.
And
I did.
Neva had already seen us perform in the old band back when the other bassist was there. And initially I asked them to join my Dungeons and Dragons group, but that was too much commitment, so now we're in a band together.
No, I love that. Oh, so what artists inspire you the most?
For me, it's a lot of that like new wave stuff, like the sort of middle point between punk and stuff like art movement, so stuff like Devo.
When we were listening to you guys before, we referenced you to kind of Depeche Mode.
Oh, 100%. Anyone who calls me Depeche Mode makes me feel really nice. Answer a bit more. You guys are probably here to like answer as well. I can talk about you as well.
I mean, you're the songwriter, so the inspo is probably more a question for you, right?
Yeah, I guess. It's just like trying to make it a little bit weird and a little bit strange, but also kind of punk. Like I'm not a good enough musician to write metal, so that's kind of where I am now, falling into punk. So.
No, every music is valid. Like every music is hard to write. Like you know. And that's my other question: is talk me through how you write your songs. Do you have a producer as well? Because you just released your EP.
We did, I did all the mixing. We have a guy.
Oh, look at you go! Yeah. What program?
I use Persona Studio One.
Nice.
Indie.
Yeah.
We have a guy in Sydney called Ant Bannister who's in a band called Sounds Like Winter, and also there's another band he's just in. I forgot the name. He's going to murder me if I don't tell him.
Subsequential Zero.
Yes, Sequential Zero. And he's really huge in the goth scene in Australia. He did the mastering and the finishing. Yeah. And Tom Hainsworth, who does sort of sound at Mama Chan's. Mixed all of our vocals because they're just incredible. Like they coach us through the best like vocal performances. They're incredible. If you ever see their band, Aaron Will Be Mad as well. It's really cool. So
cool.
Check them out.
I'll look them up.
Yeah,
that sounds really cool.
Usually get an idea.
Shout out. And talk me through your EP launch.
Cool. It's tonight.
Talk me through this, obviously. Talk me through the songs.
Oh no!
What is your favorite to perform? What are you most excited about?
Well, we're playing most of our songs. Like we're playing about an hour, which we don't normally do. So we got like a whole set list. We got some cheeky covers. Nice. We got a mashup that there's going to be one like goth person in the crowd's going to lose their business. They get the songs, and they're always I knew half of those songs. What's your favorite song to play, Neva?
I mean, the most fun to play is Drunk Ass Cowboy. Like, hands down, that is the fun one. Like, but I mean, I also really
love the name of that song when I was looking it up on.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's about Barnaby Bush. No, nobody.
It's about a leader of the National Party whose name rhymes with Barnaby Moise.
Okay, yeah.
And about how gross he is.
Do you have a favorite song, Lucy?
Depends on my mood, but I tend to always go back to Glass Bottom Beach.
Yeah, our surf rock doo-wop ballad.
It was like the very first song I learned when I joined.
It's the song you auditioned with too.
It is the song I auditioned with.
That's so sweet.
Though I do like playing Stimulation as like a go-to hype sort of.
You gotta do the noises this time.
Only if my mum doesn't show up.
Yeah, okay. There's sex noises. My brother's going to show up. You might find out that I'm queer tonight. I don't know.
I say do it.
Stand Up Charlie. That's a fun one. That's a good song. I love that song. It's really fun.
It's about a boy.
Oh.
It's about a boy. Not a good
Can't
boy.
wait to hear. Oh, bad.
Oh, you'll know.
Bad.
You'll know.
It is funny how often people are like, oh no, that song felt like targeted me too much.
We're trying to cut that one on the next release. So hopefully next release, Stand Up Charlie.
And Choke. I think
Choke is really pretty.
And the Choke and the View.
Choke is very sad, but it's really pretty.
Can't wait.
A new song as well, which is it's the first time we've played it on stage at all.
Yeah.
Non-swimmer.
Non-swimmer. Yeah.
Nice.
We literally just finished writing it too.
Excited.
Yes, that's a good thing. Be excited.
Yeah.
So industry questions now. What is the biggest challenge you guys face in the industry?
That we are in Melbourne.
I've been doing this I've been doing this since I was like 15, and like this is probably one of the biggest shows I'm gonna play. Like it's just doing obscure music or doing like sort of niche music, and not fitting in with a ready crowd is really challenging in this town.
Oh, for sure.
Louis from Kai Cult, Lewis, shout out. He's told me that like Melbourne is a city focused on perfection, and I feel like we could be just a little more cool about stuff.
For sure. I find that there's a lot of like, and no trash on anyone, of course, but there's a lot of like those indie rock.
Yeah.
That's very much.
It doesn't matter though. That's just what the market wants right now.
Yeah.
I know my music's never going to be super popular, but like to play slightly bigger gigs would be really cool.
Come support.
Yeah, local, right?
Exactly. And so with that, how do you think is the best to get people in who aren't family and friends?
That's a really good question. I'd love to say bigger bands reaching down and going, yeah. I think that there's a little bit of work to be done, maybe at like a local government level, like even a state level, perhaps making the process easier. Like don't just throw bands at monies, but things like, making it so it's easy for us to do a release, so that like perhaps street press is more accessible. Being able to physically go and record a thing to people that like aren't like 18 or 20, they're like a little bit older but didn't get the opportunity, make that more accessible. And also some of us like deal with like disability and health and stuff, and we didn't get like the easy run of like everything's fine. Like we had troubles and things we had to fight through in our youth. So like I guess not handouts, but like ladders and just like sort of easier. More opportunities. Yeah, there's opportunities. That'd be what I'd like to see. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then if you had any advice for upcoming artists, what would it be?
What do you think, Lucy? What should they do?
Just have fun.
Actually practice and actually do the thing. Because it's all good being like, I'm a musician, but if you're not actually writing stuff, practicing, doing stuff, it's not going to do anything.
Do you know what I will say? Is join an established band if you can. Because I've wanted to do this kind of thing for a very long time, but if you don't know where to start, and especially if you're a little bit older as well and you don't know where to start, it can be quite challenging to know, like, first of all, like, what's the process of getting booked? What's the process of even, booking an ongoing rehearsal, that kind of thing, and all of that. I joined an established band and I'm really, really happy about it. So I reckon if it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know where to start, that's a really great way for me. Anyway.
It's actually, it's honestly kind of daunting and scary, because I found when I first started, because I was in a group, and when I first started, I just thought that people would already be there.
Yeah, right.
Like
how sad does that feel?
My first ever gig, I was like, oh my God, the Workers Club, it's a public holiday. There's going to be so many people there, and they're going to come in. They're there for dinner, and they're going to come in. And I actually got there, and no one I didn't know was there. You know what I mean? It was just,
I think you have to be prepared to play some empty rooms. Like,
for sure. And I have.
Same.
Same. It's always just mum and dad in the corner, just like, no.
Although sometimes that's fun, especially if the other bands are really cool, because it just feels like
nice and intimate.
Hangout. almost like a.
I think going back to the other question,
with the other bands.
like some safety nets for venues and bookers as well, because like there's been times where we've been starving because no one's come because we're like a band who knows like 10 people. And just some more safety nets for like if no one came, it's like, well, there's some way that everyone can still get like a little bit and go home. So that the band doesn't have to fork out or the booker doesn't have to fork out. There's like some safety net there.
Yeah, sure. Because I find that when I go to venue, we're going totally off script right now. But when I go to venues, I find that like it's really hard, and it's no one's fault. But I hate it when you book a gig and you have to pay like $250 for the sound engineer, and then you have to pay someone for the door, and then it's like you hardly know anyone that will come, and it's like.
My advice for new people: become a sound engineer because you'll get paid every time. I love sound engineers, and Buffy's really cool tonight.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Let's end on a fun question. What is your go-to karaoke song?
I've never done karaoke, so I don't know.
Girl.
Mine is Doctor Doctor by UFO.
The only answer that's in my head right now is the most basic bitch answer in the world of Bohemian Rhapsody.
No, that's
You're
a good
sing
one.
The whole thing?
I do.
I
absolutely do. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I do.
Cool.
All right, that's it. And you're listening to
Elle Out Loud.
Yeah. All right. Thank you,
Michelle.
guys.